Okay, so we're back for the thinking portion of this. We're going to look at 3 questions today. We're going to start off with question number 1. We're looking at 3 different printers. And so printer number 1, it prints 20 pages in 1.5 minutes. We want to know how many pages it prints in just 1 minute. So we're going to take this larger number, 20. We're going to turn it into a fraction. And we're going to divide it by 1.5 minutes, right? So let's just kind of change this into an improper fraction right away. So we've got 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So we've got 3 over 2. So in order to solve this, we're going to flip. So now we've got 20 over 1 times 2/3. 20 times 2 is 40. 1 times 3 is 30. 3 goes into 40. How many times? It goes in 13 times. 13 times 3 is 39, and we have 1 left over, so 1/3. So we know printer number 1 is 13 pages and 1/3 per minute. Okay. Let's do printer number 2 now, because what we're looking for to see is which is the best deal. So printer number 2 prints 20 pages in 2.5 minutes. How many does it print in 1 minute? So again, we're going to do the exact same mathematics. 20 over 1 divided by 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 over 2. Time to flip and kiss. 2 over 5. 20 times 2 is 4. 40. 5 times 1 is 5. 40 goes into 5. 5 goes into 40 8 times. So printer number 2 prints 8 pages. Okay. And last but not least, let's do printer number 3. Printer number 3 prints 20 pages in 1 1/3 minutes. So we've got 20 over 1 divided by 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4, 4/3. 20 over 1 times 3/4. 20 times 3 is 60. 1 times 4 is 4. And here we've got 15 pages. So where does the thinking question come in? Well, we know that printer number 3 is it prints the most pages. We know that printer number 2 prints the least pages. But which is the best value? Is printer number 1, which does it in 1.5 minutes, better than printer number 3, which does it in 1 1/3? And that's the question you need to think about. Okay. What is the answer for this? Because it's a thinking question, as long as you can explain your thought process, you're fine. If you say that printer number 2 is the best option because it prints 8 pages, maybe you're using the justification that maybe it's like the quality of the print is better or something like that. So thinking through your statements is really important. So that's number 1 on our thinking questions. For our second thinking question, we're going to do this. So a theater, like a playhouse, like a theater playhouse, is having a presentation, okay? And in the presentation, the following information is important. They're going to have really short plays, and each play is 3/10 of an hour, okay, for each play. The entire presentation overall is 2 hours. So the first thing we want to know is how many presentations are there? So how many mini plays are there going to be in this time? So what do? Well, we're going to take our 2 hours and we're going to make that into a fraction, 2 divided by 2 over 1. And we're going to divide it by 3/10 because we know that each play is going to be 3/10 of the time. Okay, so now we will do our flip. So we change it to a multiplication and we'll kiss. So 2 times 2 times 10 is 20. 1 times 3 is 3. Let's bring it up here. How many times does 3 go into 20, you're asking yourself? Well, 3 times 6 is 18, so we're going to write 6. 20 minus 18 is, we get 2 left over. So approximately there are 6 short plays and 2/3 of another play. The second question we want to know is, how long is the intermission? In minutes. So think about this. You got 6 2/3 that are taken up by plays. And so that means that what is left over? Well, if you've answered 1/3, you're correct. There's 1/3 of the day that's left over. And this is going to become the intermission. Sorry, I'm just going to move this over. Intermission. But we weren't asked to tell us what fraction is the intermission. We were asked to tell us what minutes the intermission was. So I'm going to take 60 minutes because I know that 60 minutes are in an hour. I'm going to put that into a fraction. I'm going to divide that by 1/3. Okay. I'm going to do the flip. 60 times 60 over 1 times 3 over 1. And then I'm just going to bring it up here just because I'm running out of space. 60 times 3 is... Oh, sorry. I'm not dividing it. Guys, rewind. Sorry. I've got 60, because this is just straight multiplication. Sorry, guys. And I've got 1 over 3. Right? We're not dividing it because we're trying to find out how many minutes. So we're going to times it by 1 over 3. 60 over 3 is, well, 20. So there's the intermission is 20 minutes. Okay, so I'll let you guys take a look at that for a second. And then the last one I'm going to get you guys to do on your own, please. And this is the question. For a camping trip, so a camping trip, somebody bought 6 bags of trail mix and split it into 3/7 portions. Okay, so I want to know 2 things. 1, how many portions did it make? And B, how many people did you think came on the trip? Okay, because we don't know the answer. So a person bought 6 bags of trail mix, split them into 3/7 portions. How many portions did it make? And then how many people do you think came on the trip? Okay, ready and go. Okay, so you're back. Let's try to solve this together. So we have 6, which is going to be our larger number that we're going to divide by. So 6 over 1 divided by 3 over 7. Okay, so we're going to just go this way this time. Let's flip it. 6 over 1 times 7 over 3 is what? Now we're going to do the math. 6 times 7 is 42. 3 times 1 is 3. So I ask myself now, how many times does 3 go into 42? Well, it goes in exactly 14 times. So there's 14 portions that were made. What did you come up with for how many people you think came? So respectable answers that would have been explained and probably used. Well, 14 would have been acceptable because you could have said that each person was going to get a portion. You could have also said 7 because you could have said that each person was getting 2 portions. Both of those would have been acceptable. And then besides those two, it would be dependent on how you've explained your communication. The last thing that I'm going to add on to this today is I'm going to just ask you a question. Doesn't matter which, if I have 5 over 3 divided by 2, let's say 2, no, that can be divided. If I have 5 over 3 divided by 2/7. Does it matter which one I flip? Can I not just flip this one? Why does it always have to be this one? So let's take a look and see what would happen, right? If I want to find out what 5/3 divided by 2/7 is, I could do it my proper way. Oops. 10 over, oops, I didn't flip this. My bad. 35 over 6. 5 and 5/6. Or I can show it this way, and this is where we learn the issue that we have to always flip after. Okay, so 5 and 5/6 is the correct answer. So if I flipped it, 6 over 35, I'm nowhere close to that answer, right? I'm actually the exact opposite of the answer that I was looking for. Okay, so you always have to make sure that you're flipping, because it wouldn't make sense that an improper fraction now becomes a smaller number in the end, right? An improper fraction should tell me that I'm going to get a bigger number in the end. Okay, so that's for today's lessons. There is no exit card today, but there isn't there's a worksheet I'd like you to finish. So we're done for today, and we will see you soon.